Hello everybody, I'm this weird game and welcome back to Zoo Tycoon 2, where today we are doing another time-lapse episode, but I'm going to be talking the entire time this time because that's what people seem to like the most. I put a comment in the last video asking that and some people replied, so that's great. So thanks for the feedback. I do kind of like this time-lapse thing so I can spend more time on enclosures and stuff. And today we are doing a double feature of animals. We're doing the African lion first, and then we're gonna go move on to the black rhinos. Now the reason I want to do two animals is because I just wanted to continue the savannah area and sort of complete this small little area of the pack so we can expand into other areas with more space. And I thought, well, yeah, this is a good space for some lions. It's kind of a little bit and rhinos because it's kind of a little bit secluded, so they won't get too much hassle. And you know, this is an area that if guests actually want to go all the way around the pack, they would have to come this way. Otherwise they'll have to turn around at some point and come back. So yeah, I decided to do that. And in the lion enclosure I had decided to have this little Pride Rock style area where there's a sort of heated rock that the lions can lie on at the top there, and the guests from the elevated path can see it better. Now, the rocks I'm adding here was just to try and make it look better, but I'm not entirely convinced of that yet, and I need to probably go back to that at some point and fix it. Not the best looking, I think. But yeah, we're just sticking to it now, adding different kinds of rocks together to sort of make it look a little bit better. And yeah, then I decided to, you know, build the lions a little bit of a house that they sleep in rather than just that hut. In the house I also added food and water, so hopefully they will have no problems trying to reach that, but they will because it's Zoo Tycoon and the AI is really bad. So yeah, then I decided to, because I realized just the flat roof seems a bit bland and, you know, makes the inside of that, well, would make it dark if, you know, lighting was a proper thing here. So I decided to go for this sort of style that a lot of people that play this game seem to go for. It's a little elevated roof in the middle and then more windows around so that we can actually get a nice light in there if lighting was a thing. So then I tried to figure out this whole floating little wall thing, and it took me a tiny bit until I realized I had to pause the game. Thanks, Nick Knack, by the way. I watched your video on how to do that. And yeah, so I just added, you know, the usual kinds of grass and stuff for the lions here. And I don't know, I think the way we're doing this here is I have a few savanna enclosures next to each other is good. I don't want a big one with all the animals in it. I've done that plenty of times before, and I'm not the greatest fan of just building a massive enclosure with different kinds of animals. It doesn't, yeah, I don't know, it doesn't seem I guess it's more like a safari park thing, but we've done a whole safari zoo, so if you guys want some of that, you should probably just check that out, and if that's not enough, maybe I'll make another one at some point. Then I decided, you know, just the chain link fence right there next to the guests, probably not the best idea with lions. Some kid is going to stick his hand through, so we replaced that with a wall and some windows, so nothing, hopefully this will reduce the risk of hands being bitten off by lions, because yeah, I don't know, probably don't want any guests to have their hands bitten off by a lion. I don't know. And then I quickly had to go fix a few things in other enclosures where animals were running out of food because the zookeeper AI was just being silly and didn't know what to do. The lions suddenly got trapped outside the zoo. I don't know how. I just moved them back in and hope it won't happen again. And yeah, here's a quick tour of the lion exhibit. So you can there's a bunch of good viewing spots where you can see lions, but there's also a bunch of like spots where the lion can sort of hide and retreat and not be seen by all the guests all the time, you know, because some animals don't like all that, you know, all the guests like looking at them, photographing them and doing things like that. So now I move on to the black rhino enclosure, which I decided, you know, we may as well continue this trend, and there was still time left in the video. There was plenty of time left. So the black rhino was also suggested by some people in the comments. Oh, I forgot to add that the lion was suggested by about 3-4 people initially by Woolly Rhyme. So yeah, I think that's a reasonable animal to add, plus lions are cool, right? And then the rhino was also suggested by a few people, originally by Hannah Hayes. So thank you for the suggestions, and hope you enjoy the enclosures I built for these animals. And yeah, so for the rhinos we do a similar thing with their little house and the food inside of it, just to keep the theme going for this. And then I realized that probably the area I was building it in wasn't enough for the rhinos. I want them to have space, because you know they're endangered and they need their space. They're rhinos, right? Yeah, so we just sort of fill that in, add a whole bunch of food. I do add these food troughs, but I do also in a bit. I followed one of the suggestions. I'm sorry, I forgot who suggested it, to have a bunch of grass around and put food in there, so it looks like the animals are actually going into the grass to find food. So that's kind of cool. I thought the idea of that was kind of cool, so I did add that, and yeah, gonna stick to that because it looks kind of cool. But I also added the fruit troughs just in case, you know. And then I decided it was probably kind of difficult for the guests to see the rhinos, so I wanted to make this a raised area, but I still wanted the house to be down there in the lower area. So I was playing around quite a bit to make a sort of gentle slope that goes high enough for guests to be able to see the rhinos well. And there was some issue with the lions not being able to reach things. And as you can see here, the Galapagos Tortoises had a big issue. When I created all that water area there, I seem to have messed up the terrain a bit and broke this entire enclosure. So I just fixed it slightly, and we're going to ignore it. I think one of our tortoises, the Galapagos tortoise, was actually almost starving. So good that we came in at the time that we did to fix that. So yeah, we're just working on the enclosure here. See, I'm not quite sure what else I can say. I don't know what I would be saying in the video right now. I'd just be talking about, oh yeah, we'll put this here and here, and that's a bit silly and sad anyway. So I'm just kind of going through what was going through my head at the time. And here again, I tried doing the thing, adding the thing, and it took me a while to realize, yes, I had to pause the game. I don't know how I forgot that again after just having done that with the lion enclosure. But that's the way it is. I'm a bit of an idiot. Anyway, once that's fixed, I actually fill in the rhino enclosure. We've already done the lion enclosure, and decided to create a little waterfall area here, and then sort of my idea was to have a pool up there, so the source of water that then also feeds into that river that extends from where the manatees are. Obviously, it's not connected up right now because it's two different types of water, so we're gonna fix that by just making the bottom part of the river. At some point I'll fix that to make that the same type of water, so it actually connects up, and hopefully it looks kind of cool, and we have multiple river systems. And then we need to figure out something to do with that area between the rivers, where the elevated path is, because I'm still gonna keep it elevated, just slightly lower there. I think maybe we can have a small enclosure, or maybe I can just make the elevated path really big and have like a food area there again. Any suggestions would be appreciated. If you have any ideas, any cool thoughts of things we could do, then please suggest that. And yeah, here I'm doing exactly the thing I was saying before, adding the food in the little bushes, and just, you know, adding enough water around for the rhinos to hopefully not starve and die of thirst. And then here we see a lion just sitting by the window, kind of saying hi, and apparently he was sick as well because I was healing him. And then we go for a quick tour through the thing. This is currently in the time lapse, but I hope at the end of the video there'll be another quick tour of the finished rhino enclosure. No, we already seen the lion one, right? So hopefully that'll be good. So we're just touching up final bits here with moving the rocks out of the way of this elevated path, because we don't want people to get stuck up there. No one has actually gone up there yet, so I need to have a see if the guests actually want to go up here, if they can actually see anything, if the game's just being silly. I'll have to figure that one out, but yeah, we can do that in a bit. So yeah, so here's our final tour of the rhino enclosure once I've added a bit more grass. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Suggest animals in the comment section below. And I hope you enjoyed this double feature Savannah Animals video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.